Well, you may recognise this, the Lagoons of La Santa, Club La Santa. This is the new section of build on the club. We're going to look today at the outside of Club La Santa. We've just been told we can't go in because of COVID, which is a little bit frustrating, but we'll also tell you the story and we'll have a look in the village in a moment. So this is the new entrance to Club La Santa, which is the far end, and the other side of that wall we're looking at now, there is one of the two 50-metre swimming pools. There's also a 25-metre pool, a 400-metre running track. It's just a top sports facility. The story's an interesting one. This whole project was built originally in 1968, believe it or not. If you think back to that time, 1968, the only hotel on the island was the Farallones, so there wasn't really any tourism here. It was built by a Spanish developer as a holiday village with the lagoons in place, and it was due to have 440 rooms. They never finished it. They ran out of money, and I think work stopped in the early 70s, and then around 73, 74, it was discovered by the chairman of the Danish travel company Tjæreborg. I think his name was Kalleborg, but I could be wrong. He saw the opportunity here for creating a kind of sports place, and negotiated to purchase what had been built, and it took him a few years to get it finished, but in 1978 he actually bought it. It opened in 1982. And by the way, in the distance there are the cliffs of Famara. So he bought it, he opened in 1982 as La Santa Sports. And the idea was it would be a place where people could come on holiday, do sports and get fit rather than lie on a beach, drink beer and get fat. His vision was always that it was going to be a gold mine one day. It never really took off during his lifetime. And at some point, I think it was the late 80s, the Tjæreborg board decided they didn't want to own it anymore, so he took the shares in what was by then called Club La Santa back for himself, and he carried on running it until his death, sadly, in 1992. It eventually made a profit in 95, so he never saw the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that he'd been waiting for, but it's been, I believe, profitable since. It's a fabulous place. We've had lots of major sports stars come here and enjoy it. Formula One people like Fernando Alonso, Felipe Massa, Jenson Button have all stayed and used the facilities. Boxers like Audley Harrison, Frank Bruno's been here, and lots of major sports teams and Olympic teams from around the world come over and enjoy the facilities. Had a lot of work done to it a few years ago. It almost doubled in size, and from the original sort of fairly basic apartments and the single 25-metre pool, there are now the two Olympic pools, as I mentioned before. This sports performance studio here, and the new more luxurious kind of villa-type accommodation in that section over there. So it's quite a place, a big part of the island. The drive here today, I've never seen so many bikes. You've probably seen a few go by while we've been filming this section. But very important part of Lanzarote's history, Lanzarote's story, and sports tourism in Lanzarote as it continues today. And of course this is Avenida Crogaga. Come around the corner, and I'm just trying to shelter the microphone from the breeze, but I'll turn out of the wind now and scan round. The ocean you see there is one of the reasons this would never have taken off as a holiday village, because the ocean this side is extremely rough. And what the original developers did was build this series of lagoons, which are fed by the sea, but they're beautifully sheltered, as you can see. And it's one of the key attractions of La Santa, because you've got a very safe place to learn to windsurf, kayak, canoe. It's even used for the oldest triathlon in Lanzarote, which is the Volcano Triathlon, where the swim section actually takes place in this lagoon. And here you can see the old part, the original part of Club La Santa, so those 440 rooms that were first built in 1968. Inside, other things they've got are tennis courts, bars, a couple of restaurants. It's a shop. It's just really very self-contained. And over there in the distance we can see the village of La Santa, which is where we're heading now. Now you get an idea of the scale of La Santa from over on this side of the lagoon, and you can see the new part, which is white, versus the older part, which is the sort of creamy, slightly off-white colour. And it's a pretty breezy day, hence all the surfers out and about enjoying the waves here. We've walked round to the little fishing harbour at La Santa, which you can see here, and the boats come in surfing on those sometimes quite fearsome waves into the harbour, and then get pulled up the slipway there, like the one we can see centre of frame now. Every Spanish village has a plaza, which is nearly always near the church, of course. And there's the front end of the boat park, and another restaurant, El Quineo, where people are enjoying some very late lunch tapas. It's about 20 to 4 in the afternoon. So it's a veritable boat car park here. You can see them all around. Pulled up out of the water, and we're coming to the first of several excellent restaurants in La Santa. Always get a good meal here. And this particular one's Sal Marina. So it's Thursday afternoon. As you can see, it's a lovely day. About 23 degrees currently, quite breezy, typically breezy for this time of year. This used to be Verde Mar restaurant, sold by Debbie during the pandemic, or closed down by Debbie sadly during the pandemic. Somebody with a very bad cold there by the sounds of it. And I'm just going to walk you up to the top of the street here and show you the main part of town. So to the right, of course, we've got Tinajo. To the left, Club La Santa. And then you can go on to Famara. One of our favourite restaurants there, Amendoa. And Alma, who owns that, also owns the tapas bar you can see a bit further down. And if I swing round behind me, you'll see the very well-known Pro Bike, supplier of some fabulous bikes to myself and many other people over the years. And there are a couple of more restaurants going out of town, Restaurante La Santa and Rio Azul. And the rest of it's just residential and the remains of the original fishing village. So that's been our trip to La Santa. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great weekend. See you soon.